Thank you for joining us for an episode of That's Solo Life, the podcast about public relations professionals who work as independent businesses. My name is Michelle Kane. My company is Voice Matters LLC, and I'm here with my fantastic co-host, Karen Swim of Words for Hire, and she is also head honcho at Solo PR Pro. And we have to say, this is our first podcast of the year, of the new decade, if you start counting at zero. All sorts of things. Hey, Karen, welcome to 2020.
Hey, Michelle, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Here we are. We survived the holidays, more or less.
We did. I'm actually still technically on holiday, and I'm so excited for this new year and what's in store for Solo PR Pros, and really excited to be here. You sound fantastic. I hope that you enjoyed. I know we talked a little bit over the holidays, but I hope that you enjoyed the holiday season.
It was good. I slowed down a tiny bit. I don't know, in my world, it's always I'm sure as everyone else, a race to the finish line, and even scaling back some, the holiday things that I think I always must do. But yeah, overall, it was nice. It was nice. The change of pace is always welcome. Yes. I do enjoy that little bit of time where you're not inundated with emails, because a good chunk of the corporate world is either off or mentally checked out. So it's a nice way to reset. So I'm excited for the year.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I'm so excited. As a matter of fact, I was so excited because taking such a large amount of time off and really, allowing myself to be off, my thoughts were so clear, and I was able to, really accomplish so much and get really clear on my strategy for the year. And I was so excited that I wanted to go back to work like early. and I said, no, don't do that. As excited as you are going to thank yourself because when Monday comes, you are really back to work. You are jumping in full force. I've got, a full day, and I have a meeting at 5:00 on Monday evening. I'm like, no, just take the time, slow down, pace yourself. And so, yeah. So,
yeah, definitely. I'm tired already thinking about your Monday.
Oh God, I know, but it's good. It's good. It's good. I'm ready to go. And it's all great stuff. So
it is.
I love this topic today. So we all know, especially as PR professionals, that starting, in about August, you're already starting to think in terms of your clients about trends pieces. And, you're thinking about thought leadership, and you're writing and pitching trends pieces. And then we see the publishing of trends pieces from like December through the month of January. And so one of our Solo PR Pro Premium members, well-beloved member, Mary Barber, shared an article from the USC Annenberg School of Publication, Center for Public Relations. Sorry about that. Yay, USC, go Trojans. That was about trends, career trends in 2020 for public relations professionals. I always really like their content, and I'm so glad that Mary flagged this article and brought it to our attention.
Thanks, Mary. She's always good. She always brings the goods. And I have to say, that's one of the shameless plug. It's one of the great things about the Solo PR Pro Premium membership, the Facebook group.
Yes, it is.
Plug out.
It is a great group that I am so honored to lead. And this year we'll talk a little bit more about the group too, because I feel like I've done you a disservice by not, sharing all of the ways that you can connect with us and all of the content that we deliver. But so these career trends, and I know, sometimes we groan like it seems like it's the same stuff, but I always read through the trends because it inspires me to really think, well, what do I think is a trend, and what are we really seeing? What are we seeing from, independents and micro agencies? But also, just because it's the same doesn't make it not true.
Well, exactly. Right.
Yeah. I mean, for you, Michelle, as you kind of looked through this, were there any surprises for you in this?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me expand on that though. Well, yeah, it's no, not at all. In fact, that makes me feel good in that there were no surprises. It's like, yes, okay, that's increasing use of digital and data. And I know we joked off air about, digital PR. Oh, now it has a name, all the content marketing and social media, things we've done in the name of PR, now has a name of digital PR. And I liked that they then paired that with, acknowledging our roots of traditional PR. Writing still matters. Clear communication still matters. The basics still matter. And I've said this all along, when I talk to groups about how to do things or, work with clients, it's like, look, the vehicles might change, but the essence of what we're doing has not changed, probably will not change. You still need to clearly communicate your story and who you are and why you should be the choice for your intended market. So I did like that aspect of it.
Well, it's funny because when I looked at this, I realized that when these types of articles come out and they're talking about career trends, they're really talking about career trends in the professional job market. And so for me, what's important about reading these things is that making sure that we as independent solos, small business, micro agencies are ahead of these trends. And for us, I believe that the reason that none of this is new is because when you are running your own business, you really are exposed to much more than people in traditional agencies or working in organizations are, because they tend to have more siloed responsibilities. And so many people that are coming out of the agency world have never been exposed to really having to be responsible for analytics or even social media. And, I know so many people that come out of traditional agencies and have never touched social. They get it.
Wow.
They know that it's important, but they've never touched it. They've never had to create content for it. Sometimes they may have their own social channels, but they really don't use them. They're really not sure what to do with them. And so I didn't find it surprising, but I believe that for some that have not been exposed to these areas, it will be enlightening for them. And hopefully they'll, take heed to these trends and get up to speed on things that might today be outside of their typical area of experience.
Right. No, that's true. And it's, no disservice to people who, the functions of their day-to-day job does not include those elements because, why would you spend that time? Or, honestly, if that's the case, your social media channels are probably what they should be for, fun and interacting, not work all the time. So yeah. And another element of the report that I found interesting was, maintaining a desire to be creative and how that is still so important. And, I think I sense a greater shaking of the hustle mentality in people's day to day and how essential that is to maintaining your creativity. I'm sure after your holiday break, you feel more creative, you feel more energized. I know I operated on a slower schedule. And even this morning I realized, oh, I see color now. Just you're seeing things more deeply. And, I spent some of the time just trying to readjust and reset my own inner, whatever you want to call it. I'm at a loss for words at the moment. I'm still not fully immersed. Just realizing we need that white space. We need that time to think. And so it was heartening to see that that's included in 2020 trends for the realm of public relations, because I know sometimes, when you're working with clients, and you shouldn't feel guilty, but you think, okay, thinking time, well, yeah, it is essential to to their success. So even though it doesn't give me a flat deliverable, it certainly does feed into an end product or the elements of the work.
Well,
so I thought that was
One of the things that surprised me about that, because it says that that people are seeking out different types of PR specializations. And so they don't necessarily want to do media relations. They're interested in digital or content strategy, data analytics, branded content, influencer relations. And it was interesting to read that students and entry-level people have a growing desire to be more involved with strategy. And that surprised me, but made me happy, because in the past, I've seen students and entry-level professionals be utilized in very tactical ways, and there's been no strategy attached to it. And that's a mistake. So I am glad that even on the front end of their careers, they are yearning for more strategic roles. And I think it's really important for organizations to allow that, to allow them exposure to strategy, to help them to develop that skill set, because ultimately that's good for the organization. It's not only good for someone's career, but it's good for the organization to not let strategy only live at the highest levels of the organization, but to make strategy a part of every facet of the organization.
Right. And it's, it's good for the industry as a whole as well.
Yes. I agree. One of the other things on the creative side is when I saw the word creative and a desire to be more creative, something that this didn't address is that I know that so many of us feel stifled sometimes by clients. And this is, unfortunately, this won't be a trend, I believe, of 2020. There's so much more creativity that we can bring to the table. I know I have worked with clients that love them, great clients, but they were afraid to be innovative. And so even though they may hire you and they may value your creativity, and when you come up with creative ideas, they love it, but then they essentially water it down until it's the same old blah, 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 yuck, yuck.
Right.
I know for me, sometimes that's challenging. And so as a creative person, what I have done is to learn to manage to the client and to find other ways for that creativity to find a home. And sometimes it's outside of client work, but I wish that this was a trend for 2020, that brands and organizations were really going to invite that creativity in and allow PR professionals to really do what they do best. Because I do believe that probably in most client engagements, they're not fully tapping into the talents that we have to offer. So
I believe that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I believe that to be true. Yeah, and it's a shame because, it would serve them well if you trust, if you trust your agency that they're looking out for you. They're certainly, most times not going to lead you down a path. Well, they're certainly not going to willingly lead you down a path that's going to, do any damage to your brand or anything. So, companies, clients, trust us. Yeah. Trust us.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And one of the other things that they talked about was the increasing importance of data research and analytics. And I swear, if I could just say that every single day, I honestly would. And I'm glad that this appears on list after list after list. And it may feel like, oh my God, we know about it. But speaking for myself, I know that I could do a better job on utilizing data and analytics. I could do a better job. And it's an area that I've challenged myself to dig deeper and to get even better at, because I know for a fact that we're not all doing this to the best of our abilities. We're really not. And in 2020, I think if there's one skill that everybody should have on their list to develop further, it's this one. Because
absolutely,
our clients are demanding it. There's gone are the days that we could say, well, PR, you can't really measure it. Yeah, you can. And there have been ways to measure it for many, many years, but we're going to have to get better. We're going to have to be aligned more closely with an organization's goals. We're going to have to, and we should want to, as PR professionals, demonstrate our ROI on what the client is spending. We need to get better at that. We need to get better at taking campaign analytics and leveraging that for future campaigns. And I think we can't rely on our clients to do that. We really are going to have to either bring somebody on our team that is an expert at that, or learn it, get better at it.
Well, yeah, and that speaks to the strength of developing your own team, and just a fantastic reminder that no, we are not going to be top experts in every facet of the business, as a solo. You're just not. But like any good leader, like any good team leader, you're going to surround yourself with the best and brightest that you can pull together. So that's important, but you still need to understand it so that you know whether or not someone is the best and brightest. So it is important to understand these things on a certain level. And another thing too is, if you're not training your clients to start with the end in mind, what's our goal? Set up those KPIs, figure out, well, is it as simple as, getting 10 more sales calls a month or 1,000 more sales calls a month, depending what you're doing?
Yes.
Decide what it is and then work backward from that. It can be that simple as a beginning.
It can be that simple. And you're right. It's reverse engineering it. What's the end goal? And then, becoming comfortable with talking about the funnel. Become comfortable with that. There's tons of resources out there. Read about it. Read some sales books. Understand that process. Understand the lead generation process and understand your role in it so that you are able to tie back and say to your client, okay, here was the goal. Here's how PR contributed to that. That's not a difficult thing. And I know that even today when we're talking about it, maybe people's eyes are spinning around and thinking, oh my God, that sounds so complicated. But it really isn't. I mean, even in Solo PR Pro, we have had the privilege of taking advantage of the knowledge of pros like Lisa Gerber, who, gets hired to speak on some of the biggest stages in the country on this very topic. And she has shared a measurement dashboard with our members that breaks it down and simplifies it. She's done a webinar for us that is available to our members on this very topic. She's amazing and she makes it simple. And part of it, and Jill Van Nostren, who is a solo who's now working for an organization, has also done a fantastic webinar for our members that they can still access on, understanding Google. Google Analytics has a treasure trove of data that you can utilize to demonstrate ROI. And I know I could be better on Google Analytics.
I can totally be better. And the beautiful thing is Google has a Google Analytics Academy that you can take courses for free. So, don't think you have to. And I mean, you can invest in a certificate program or something, but you don't necessarily have to. It's one of the things I love about this industry. There are so many people willing to share their knowledge because they realize that, that kind of parity is important and it only helps their business when, the greater business community knows that they can trust PR and marketing pros to know what they're talking about, which is always helpful. I mean, Google Analytics, you can open that up and just go, what? But I mean, just the other day I was doing my monthly reports and it was so fun to pull up, the traffic sources and just say, see, when you send an email out to your clients, they are actually coming back to your website.
Yes.
It works.
Yes. I love that. I love that. And I mean, as solos, we can get really scrappy and creative too. So, we talked about, hiring an expert, get together with a couple of other solos and say, okay, we all need this. Maybe we can get together and consult with somebody, have, somebody that is better at this, maybe another solo PR pro that's better at this, and have them consult and help us set up measurement dashboards for our clients. And I mean, think outside of the box, because I understand, trust me, I understand that as a small business, some of the tools that can make this stuff a little bit easier, the paid tools, are really not priced for small businesses and micro agencies. And
Right.
so I know that it can be frustrating sometimes because you feel like you can't take advantage of some of the big business resources because your resources aren't as big as the Fortune 500 companies. But that's where you get creative and innovative. And you know what? All of those big fancy tools, sometimes there's a lot of ways that you can get the same information, just, and you can work in excellence. It's not like it's a downgrade or a lower level. You just have to know where to look. And sometimes you have to be a little creative to access them. So, don't forget to use the people around you, utilize your network, utilize your tribe, and maybe get together with other people to get what you all need. And, then you're sharing, you're not only sharing, but you're, bringing revenue to another small business. And so it's a win-win all the way around.
Right. And it's a great experience for your business as well.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden you have an entirely new business offering.
Yes.
You've expanded your offering. So that's tremendous. So yeah, this was a good little thing to chew on to start our year. And once again, we're grateful to Mary for bringing it to our attention. So that's cool.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes. And, we want to hear from you. Leave some comments for us. Let us know how you handle some of these challenges and opportunities that we have coming up in 2020. And we just want to thank you for listening and joining us in the new year.
Thank you so much. And we want to remind you, please, if you like this content, please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. That means a lot in how iTunes does its algorithm. And so we need your support. And if there are topics that you'd like to see us cover or guests that you want to suggest, or maybe you want to be a guest on the podcast, you can do that by going to soloprpro.com. We have a contact form. You can email me directly at Karen@soloprpro.com. And we love hearing from you. So thank you so much. And here's to a fantastic 2020.
Yes, hear, hear. Until next time, thanks for listening.